to get going. And I'm just going to welcome everyone to the SUCCESSFIT team call. I'm so excited that we have Brad on today because, dang, Southern Congress. What's going on? Maybe I'll hop on my iPad and see if that's any better. Hang on, guys. I'm so sorry. I don't usually have this much trouble.
You're clear right now, Bria.
Am I clear?
Yeah.
Thanks, Michelle. That was really helpful. Okay, let's see how this goes. I want to get through my intro here so I can pass it on if Brad's is doing a lot better. But thank you guys for hopping on today. I know it's crazy in everyone's lives, but welcome, Brad. I'm so excited for you to be here. You know, for those of you guys who were on the team call a couple weeks ago, I think you were probably there when I shared very uncomfortably that I've been struggling in my mindset, even though I've been a coach now for 6 years, with moving from believing in being good to believing that I could be great. And so it's super timely that I've connected with Brad and to have him on the call here, because his expertise really is in focusing on developing that mindset. And there was something that you said, Brad, when I was kind of checking you out that really connected, and I will paraphrase, but you said it's how you handle your emotions during tough times that will determine the joy and success in building your business. And again, I probably paraphrased some of that, but it really connected with me because over all the years that I've done this for, I think something that I have always really tried to share with my team and with anyone who comes into my challenge groups that I'm super passionate about is that you have to love the journey, because we never know where the destination might take us, but if you can love the journey, it'll keep you staying on it, and success is always a pattern of consistency over time. So getting yourself in that mindset to love the journey is, I think, what your expertise is, Brad, and what I'm so excited to connect with you on and to have you here. He's from Michigan. I'm going to let you do sort of your own intro as we're just connecting, which is, I feel like Michigan is practically Canada. When you grow up in Ontario, it's like the same. And I noticed that you said on your on your website that your favorite TV character is Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec, who I totally love. He's hilarious. But so I'm really excited to connect with you. I already feel like you're my kind of person. And if there's one thing I love in this world, it's meeting really positive people. And I get that sense from you. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it on over to you. Thank you so much for taking your time today. And thanks to the team for being on. And for those of you who are able to catch the recording later, let's go.
Awesome. What's going on, guys? Can you hear me? Is that coming through? Give me a thumbs up. Awesome, awesome, awesome. What's up? What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for the privilege of being here today. It's an honor to serve you guys. I want you guys to know that I don't take your time for granted. I know that this is time you cannot get back. So my promise to you over this next hour is just to deliver above and beyond value, to help you master this, your noggin, all that stuff that either makes or breaks if your goals come true. That's what we're going to talk about today. So, just like Rita said, my name is Brad Bizjeck. I'm a mindset strategist and coach. I'm an inspirational speaker. I'm the host of the Path to Mindset Mastery podcast, a creative appreciation academy. And my mission in life is to help people that are creating big dreams silence the negative self-talk that gets in the way of them achieving that. That's what everything that I teach comes down to. Teaching really, what it means is teaching happiness. That's really what I teach people to do, because happiness leads to success. So anyways, this is all about mastering that negative self-talk. So before we get rocking and rolling, silence the phones. If you want to do the Instagram story thing, take the picture now and then post it later, right? Put the kids in a closet, whatever you have to do, just be fully present here. I promise it'll be worth your time. And I really am curious what a really big goal you have is this year. Type in the chat box. What's a big goal you have in 2019? And as you're typing in that goal, there's a really cool thing about this goal. There's a way to do it. There's a recipe. Right? There's a recipe to making it happen. You know that. You know your basic business building activities. You're one of the top coaches in the entire company teaching you how to do that, right? You know how to do that. So that's your recipe. But something you might miss is the way you go about using your ingredients in that recipe is what matters. So what does that mean? That means that you could invite 1 billion people, but if your mindset's off, you're actually going to push them away from you. You could have the best training for your team in the world, but if your mindset's off, they're not going to do anything. In fact, how many of you guys, by a show of hands, have said sometime in the last couple months, why isn't my team growing the way I want it to, in some way, shape, or form? How many of you guys have ever said that, right? Be totally honest, right? If you lie about that, you lie about other shit too. But we're just being totally honest here, right? So it's so true though. Like, we say these negative things to ourselves. It means this recipe means you could put hours into a support group for your clients, a challenge group. But if your mindset's off, they're going to feel like a pawn that you're using. So how do we correct this? How do we enjoy the process of building a business when we're not at our goals yet? And it really comes down to, obviously, your mindset, your self-talk. Your mindset is by far and above the most important piece of all of this. And you've heard that before. Type yes in the chat box if you've heard the cliche, change your thinking, change your life. Have you ever heard that before? Change your thinking, change your life? But how do we do that? Like, how do you even start the process of changing your thinking? That's what we're going to talk about today. Kat's question, how do you stop self-sabotage when it seems unconscious? I am going to show you in about 10 minutes. It's going to be really, really helpful, and you're going to learn how to rewire these limiting beliefs. And we're going to start the process of that tonight. And full disclosure, I'll offer you guys something to take your education further at the end of the call, to where you really want to master this. So there will be an offer presented to you at the end. But my goal today is not just to talk about that. My goal today is to really give you actionable takeaways that you can master and instill them into your business. So if that offer is for you or not, you still have a lot of value coming out of this. So where does negative self-talk come from? Where do limiting beliefs come from? Where do these unconscious self-sabotaging episodes come from? I'm going to show you through a couple stories in my past where mine came from, because yes, 100% past experience, because I believe that they all come from past. And that can be trauma, that can be failure, that can be reference points from what other people have said to you. In fact, most of the beliefs that we have about ourselves aren't even our beliefs. They were passed on to us by people that we looked up to at the time and that played a role in our life at the time. So we're going to show you today how to change that thinking, especially when you're in a place when you don't want to. Like, have you ever noticed that when you're pissed off, you kind of want to stay pissed off? Like, or when you're depressed, you kind of want to stay sad. It's almost rewarding in some way, even though you know deep down you want to get out of it. If someone tries to help you, you're like, shut up, dude. I want to be here right now. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, so that's what we're going to change today. That's what we're going to master today. So I'm going to share a couple stories. You might not be able to relate to them. That's okay. But you'll see kind of what the purpose of this is in a second. So growing up, I had an emotional roller coaster of a childhood. And it gave me really messed up beliefs about how life is. And I'm curious, type yes if you can relate to the topic of money stress at any point in your life, whether past or present. How many of you guys can relate to money stress, past or present in your life? That was a huge, huge, huge limitation in my life for a very, very, very long time. And I remember growing up, my parents would scream, they'd fight, they'd yell about money every day. That's not hyperbole for this call. It was every day. The screaming like about why the bank account was overdrawn, or why they spent this much money on this, or how if they're so far in debt, why would they spend that much on holidays, right? All that stuff. And I remember one time I was probably like 10 years old, and my parents were having a fight about why the bank account was being overdrawn again. And I go up to my mom and I'm like, Mommy, why do you guys have to fight about stupid money? Sorry about the dog barking in the background. There must be someone outside. I was like, why do you guys always have to fight about stupid money? And in that moment, she comes over to me and she goes, you know what? And excuse my language ahead of time. She goes, you know what? Shut the fuck up and get out of here. I don't need you around me right now. Right? And that was kind of the vibe that I had growing up. That's kind of how she talked to us growing up, was like this feeling of not being enough for her. But that wasn't the scary part of the event. What happened was my dad came over then, because my mom talked to us this way, with a soap dispenser. And he starts pouring soap all over my mom. He starts pouring it on her head, down her back, on her neck, all over her. And like, just for talking to us that way. And I remember being like, whoa, did money cause this? Is it because of money that my parents were screaming and fighting and yelling? Sorry about the dog. Can you guys hear the dog by the microphone? Okay, he'll shut up in a second. There's someone outside. And they would always, I remember thinking like, did money cause this? Is it because of my parents fighting about, or is it because of money that my parents would fight and yell? And I remember thinking like, okay, my dad works 90 hours a week, 100 hours a week to barely get by. And they always fight about money. So I thought money was something that was very hard to make and something that tore relationships apart. And that was not healthy. Because guys, for those of you guys that don't know, I was a Beachbody coach for 5 years. I built a 5-star business. I love everything about Beachbody. It led me to what I'm truly supposed to do in my life, which is help people with this. And if it wasn't for a conflict of interest against compliance, I'd still be doing it because I love it. So, but my point in bringing this up is that when I tried to build a business, you can imagine I wanted 5-star, I wanted 10-star, I wanted elite, I wanted Million Club, I wanted all these things. But money is bad. Like, do you see how that might hold me back? Wanting to sprint 100 miles an hour in one direction with chains around your ankles. And then on top of the money, I had a really tough relationship with my mom. How many of you can relate to a really turbulent relationship with a family member in some way, shape, or form, whether past or present? That was a huge limitation in my life for a long time. And I love my mom. I've forgiven her for all the pain that I went through in my past. Definitely that took a while because I was really, really angry and I was really hurt. And that's a whole other topic that I'll talk about more in my program. But the point of bringing this up is that I never knew who I had to be to feel worthy of her love. I never knew who I had to be in order to deserve her chatting with me, to talk to me, to feel like she actually loved me or wanted me around. And so, like, it was always like walking on eggshells. Do you ever have that person where when they call, like, that's how it was. And it was really, really tough. And I remember thinking my entire life growing up, like, that I was never enough for her. And I remember it was really, really tough. It hurt emotionally. I'm gonna take off the nice mic. That dog is crazy loud. And it hurt emotionally. It really, really hurt. And I didn't know why she didn't act and operationally show me that she loved me. And so my reason for bringing that up is, you can imagine when I tried to build my Beachbody business, I wanted to create mass impact. I wanted to help all these people. I wanted to serve them, but I'm not enough. Do you see how that might slow me down in some way? How that might hold me back in some way? That was a huge, huge, huge challenge in my life that held me back for a really long time. And so you might have a totally different story. That's okay. It doesn't matter if you have the same story or not, but my point of bringing this up is, where can you relate? What limiting belief or beliefs do you have now because of something that happened years ago that you haven't forgiven or forgotten yet? Because when you're young or impressionable, or you go through a failure or a trauma in your life and your business, it's in those moments where your belief about yourself and your abilities start to take shape. So when I started my business 5 years ago, it didn't matter how many people I invited. It didn't matter how many social media posts I put up. It didn't matter how many team calls I signed up to speak on. It didn't matter how much amazing content I was giving to my team. It didn't matter. I just always felt stuck. How many of you, by a show of hands or type in the chat box, feel stuck in some part of your life? It doesn't need to be business. It can be anything. It can be your bank account, your business, your relationship, anything. That's where I was. I was stuck, and I had to figure out how to fix it. And I went on this journey of changing my life and figuring out these limiting beliefs, figuring out this inner conflict that was holding me back. And that led me to what I do now. And what I teach people is how to break through that. So I tell you this because when I tried to build my Beachbody business, the overwhelming amount of negative self-talk and the lack of belief in the secret obstacles that I didn't even realize were going on stopped me in my tracks. And like I talked about, I created a system to overcome that I'll offer you at the end. We don't have time to go through all of that in 1 hour. But if you take this really seriously, you'll learn 3 of the major steps that I took to exploding my life. So number 1, put this in your notes. Your thoughts are always the reason. Your thoughts are always the reason. The first thing you can do is change the way you think. And you've heard that before, right? I'm talking about the rewiring the way you naturally respond. Just like Kat said, how do you stop self-sabotage when it seems unconscious? That's what we're talking about here, how to rewire the way you naturally handle your life, right? Because you've heard the cliche, change your thinking, change your life. I'm going to show you right now how to rewire those beliefs, or at least start the process. So let's backtrack. You start to tell yourself stories, right? Money is bad. Building a team is hard. I'm not enough. Whatever it is, right? It's so much easier for my upline. And if you say it enough times, you actually start to believe it. So put this in your notes. Whatever you repeat to yourself consistently, you will believe whether it's true or not. Whatever you repeat to yourself consistently, you will believe whether it is true or not. So if you keep saying, why am I always so stuck? You're going to believe that you're stuck, even though it's true that you're not. So for example, how many of you guys have ever been with your friends over the years? And when you get together, you share a story, but you kind of want to sound cooler than you actually are. So you exaggerate that story a little bit, and then you get more laughs, more attention. So the next time you're all getting back together, you share that story again with more conviction, with more excitement, with more passion. And then you start to believe it even more. And then you find yourself 5 years into the future sharing this story, and you don't even know what part of that story is BS or not. But you believe it's true, right? Because you say it with so much conviction, and sometimes you sit there and you go, is that actually real? You don't even remember. The same thing happens with negative self-talk. But instead of it being a fun party topic, it will sabotage your whole life. And you will go through life believing this. We'll believe these BS stories. It creates inner conflict. It changes the way we lead our life and our business. So if you feel like you're forcing things, or if you feel stuck in some way, it's because of these beliefs. So to change this, obviously, you need to believe that you're enough before the evidence of your business is ever going to say that you're enough. You have to believe that you're important before teammates are ever going to flood into your business. You have to believe that you're worthy of financial abundance before your bank account is ever going to change. And it's hard to do that when the evidence of your life is not showing that yet. So how do we do that? You can change these beliefs by changing your questions. Higher quality questions lead to a higher quality life. So better questions will change everything for you. Better questions, to answer Kat's question, how do you stop self-sabotage when it seems unconscious? Ask yourself better questions. That's the start of reversing limiting beliefs. It's not everything, but it's the start of it. So have you ever faced a point in your life where you're trying to convince yourself that you're good enough or that you deserve something great, but you never actually believe it? Like you want to believe it, but you don't? Like almost like, have you ever done a vision board or a goal setting exercise? And you write on that vision board or goal setting exercise, earn $100,000 by this date, or a 5-star diamond, or you have the picture of the house or whatever it is. And you do the goal setting exercise of the vision board and you're going, that would be amazing. It would change everything for me. My entire life would be different. But there's that little voice back here. A little voice that goes, you're never going to do that. Right? Like it's almost like you're going to fail before you even start, but you still set the goal or you still want that anyways. Just this little devil on your shoulder, just whispering doubt and insignificance into your subconscious mind. We have to change that thinking. And we can't do it all here in an hour, but here is a start. So first, what is thinking? Thinking is nothing more than the process of asking yourself a question. That's all thinking is. So think about what you just did. You go, is that true? You were thinking about thinking. That's what you were doing. So that's what thinking is. And if you ask yourself bad questions, you get really bad answers. An example of that would be, why do I always self-sabotage? A bad question would be, why am I stuck? A bad question would be, why don't I know enough people? That would be a bad question. You get bad answers. A great question, if you ask yourself great questions, you get great answers. An example of that would be, why am I worthy? Why am I more than enough? Why can I do this? Those would be great questions. The mistake I made is I thought I just had to keep hitting Success Club. And yes, you do, right? That's your benchmark to your business. That's how you build your business. That's how you know it happens. But there comes a point when every time you try, it doesn't seem to work. Or even if you do hit Success Club, your business isn't growing and you still feel unfulfilled for some reason. So why is that? Well, let's do an exercise to show you what I mean. This metaphor will make more sense throughout the call. Look around the room you're in right now and count the number of things you can find that are red. Ready, go. Look for red, 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 look for red. Keep looking for red, look for red, look for red. Why are you looking at me? Look for red, 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 look for red. Keep looking for red. Count the things that are red. Look for red, 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 look for red. Hold up your hands or type in the chat box. How many things did you find that were red? We got 14, 11, 4. We got 3, 25. Awesome. That's fantastic, guys. You guys all won A+. How many things did you find that were blue, though? No idea. Why? Because you weren't looking for blue. But try this out. Look around the room you're in right now and count all of that Beachbody blue that is everywhere. Look for blue. 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 Keep looking for blue. Look 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 for blue. Keep looking for blue. Look for blue. Look for blue. It's everywhere. Look for blue. 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 Hold up your hands or type in the chat box. How many more things did you find that were blue? What do we got? 33, 26, a ton, a ridiculous 52. How many of you guys even saw green or teal and pretended it was blue just so you would feel successful at this exercise? You know who you are, right? So what does this prove, guys? What does this prove? Well, when you focus on red, what do you not see? You don't see blue. And when you focus on blue, you don't see red, right? Well, let's pretend red is what you don't want, and let's pretend blue is your dreams, okay? When you focus on what you don't want, why am I stuck? Why am I so fat? How come I always self-sabotage? What will you never find? Your dreams. So when you focus on what you don't want, that's doubt, that's skepticism, that's pain. These thoughts will grow in your mind like weeds. This is why Jim Rohn has an amazing quote that says, "Stand guard at the gates of your mind, or weeds will grow automatically." What does that mean? Well, and what that means is, unless you condition your mind to focus on blue on a consistent basis, you will automatically find red. So if you are ever negative, it's actually your brain's default setting to be negative, by the way. Like, your brain is supposed to be negative. And the reason for this is because your brain doesn't care if you're happy. It doesn't care if you hit your goals. It doesn't care if you hit Success Club. It doesn't care at all. Its primary job is to make sure you survive. It is a survival mechanism. It's to protect you from pain. So it's always looking at any moment in time for what to protect you from. So when you think about a big goal like elites in your first year or something, and you set that goal, your brain's going to go, whoa, 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 no, let's be more realistic. Let's play it safe, without realizing that realism is the fastest traveled road to mediocrity. Like, your brain will make you play it safe because it wants to protect you from pain. And the reason for this is because millions of years ago, you weren't worried about sending an invite on Facebook. You were worried about the saber-toothed tiger hiding in the bushes that was going to eat your baby. That's what you were worried about. And we're still the same human beings, right? So we have a survival mechanism in here. So unless we condition it for blue, what we want are dreams, we will automatically find red. What we don't want, what we fear. Does that make sense? And when you look for red, why am I stuck? Why do I self-sabotage? You find it, and what do you never see? You don't see blue. Does that make sense? So my point in bringing all of this up is to apply this to your business. So ask yourself this right now. Why am I not enough to build my business? Just try that. Why am I not enough to build my business? Ask yourself that question right now. What happens? How motivated do you feel when you ask yourself that question? Not motivated at all. And even when you read all these positive thinking books, it doesn't change the fact that you have this voice in your head that says you're never going to do this. You know what I'm talking about? So I shared a couple of my limiting questions a minute ago, right? Like, why am I not enough, and why is money so hard to earn, or why is money bad? What are yours? Like, type yes if you've ever said something like this to yourself. Why isn't my team doing anything? Why am I so stuck? Why don't people want to join me? Why is it so hard to lose weight? Why am I so broke? Why do I never catch a break? Why is it so much easier for my upline? How many of you guys have ever been like just kind of assholes to yourself like that on a regular basis? Have you ever done that? It doesn't feel very good, right? Those are limiting beliefs. It doesn't feel good to ask those questions. It leads to a lot of pain, a lot of procrastination, and you're sitting there looking at your life frustrated with the results you're getting. And no matter how much someone tells you they believe in you, it doesn't change the fact that you have that voice in your head that says you're never going to do this. So how do we change it? Well, when you set a goal, your dominant beliefs determine if that goal comes true. And goal setting is nothing more than the process of trying to create a new reality as opposed to your current reality. That is what goal setting is, right? That's simple. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is whether you're looking for red or looking for blue. So Sabrina, that answers your question. Between where you are and where you want to be is whether you're looking for red or looking for blue. And until that language is blue, consistently blue, and you have to intentionally program this, I'll show you how in a minute, until you program this into your mind, you will find yourself stuck, not believing in yourself, always feeling like it's different for you and no one else gets it, and you'll feel like you're just behind in some way, and you don't know why you can't get this negative self-talk to stop. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I lived for years. So let's use the example of why isn't my team growing, or why am I not enough to build this business? Try it right now. Ask yourself, why am I not enough to build this business? What does your brain do? It looks for an answer. It looks. And even if you're successful, your brain still tries to find an answer. Something you need to understand is your entire life can be changed by asking more empowering questions. Your brain is a Google search engine. It will answer whatever you type into that search bar. But unless you intentionally type in something blue, what will it automatically type in? Something red. And when you see something red, what do you not look for? Blue. Make sense? So what if you intentionally reverse it? What if you manipulate your brain into believing in yourself? Like, can you do that? Yeah, you can do that. I'm going to show you how. So like, you're going to get an answer anyways. So you might as well change what you type into your mental Google, right? When you say, why is it so hard to build my team? What does your brain do? It finds all the reasons why it's so hard to build your business. That's what you focus on. So you never find the answer to your challenges. When you sit down to work, you're literally looking for why you're not capable. So you don't send invites. You wonder why more people aren't messaging you, and you refresh your online office to see if you magically rank advance a diamond in 36 hours, right? Like, that's what happens. You do that, don't you? I used to do that all the freaking time. And here's what's crazy though. There are amazing people and opportunities and blue around you every day. But because your mindset is wired on red, why is it so hard? Why do I always self-sabotage? Why am I stuck? You won't even notice the blue that's all around you. You won't even have the courage to reach out to those people. You won't even think about them. They won't even be possibilities in your mind because you're looking for your limitations. You won't even notice that mom that's standing behind you in the grocery store checkout line that has high cholesterol, and you can literally save her life with Shakeology if you started a conversation with her. But you don't, because you're looking for red. You won't even notice that single dad that's living next door that has no idea how he's going to pay for his little girl's college education. And you have his freedom trapped in your mouth right now. You won't even notice him. You won't even think to ask him because you're looking for red. Because you won't focus on the solution, you focus on the problem. But try this. Why is it so easy to hit Success Club today? Last day of the month. Why is it so easy to hit Success Club today? You go, oh, it's only 3 people. I'll ask 15 for insurance. I'll ask John and Susie and Nancy and Bill and Bob and Bartholomew and whoever the heck else you think about, right? You'd ask all these people, you start to think about the solutions instead of the problem. You start to focus on the people you could reach out to, the sacrifices you could make to build your business. Can you imagine if you intentionally flood your mind with this? And here's the key. Yeah, there's fears that are going to get in the way. I teach you how to break through those in my program, but you don't even need to have the answer to the question you ask. You just need to live in a question that leads you to the life that you want. Because when you're in the right state of mind and you know what you want and why you want it, write this down. The how will always reveal itself. The how will always reveal itself. You don't need to know how you're going to do it. You just need to know what you want and why you want it and be committed to doing it. Every problem you face is a blue question you got to ask. That's it. So for your life and your business, guys, I want you to write down, this is how you start to program your mind this way. You're going to write down all the negative crap you ask yourself on a regular basis. Why am I broke? Why do I self-sabotage? Why is my business stuck? Why am I fat? Why am I not pretty enough? Why does my husband always annoy me? Whatever it is, write down all of these things, these negative, disempowering things. You're going to write them all down, and you're going to flip them to their empowering alternative. Okay? So instead of why am I broke, it's why am I so wealthy? Instead of why am I stuck, it's why am I thriving? Instead of why does no one want to join me, it's why would people be excited about this opportunity? Instead of why isn't my team growing, it's why am I such a great leader? Those are just some examples. 2 questions that changed my life. Why am I so kind to myself every day? And number 2, why am I worthy of living an amazing life? Those questions changed my life, and I still ask myself them every day. Because guys, life gets 100% easier if you are 1% nicer to yourself. 100% easier. So what you're going to do to actually make yourself think this and believe it is you're going to flood your mind with it. Okay, so remember, when you look for red, you don't find blue, but when you look for blue, you don't find red. I knew this, so I was like, okay, I'm going to make sure my brain doesn't have a fighting chance to look for red. So I'm going to flood it with what I want. So my wife probably thought I was crazy. I literally recorded my empowering questions on my phone. I recorded them with passion, with energy, with excitement. And I listened to them on my headphones while I slept at night. Literally listen to them on repeat while I slept at night. Disclaimer, don't choke yourself with a headphone cord. Like, that's what I did. And I would listen to them while I walked the dog, while I took a shower, while I was doing the dishes. Any opportunity I could to flood my mind with blue, I took it, because if I don't do it, what does my brain automatically do? Automatically finds why I'm not capable. Guys, like, how many of you have kids, by the way? How many of you guys have kids? Okay, can you imagine what would happen to their lives and their future and your relationship if you had an alarm that went off on your phone like 5 minutes before they woke up from a nap or got home from school or whatever it is that said, why is it so easy to be a patient and loving mother today? Can you imagine? Everything would change. Everything. Because you wouldn't let the stress of the day affect how you parent the kids. You'd be proactive. Or how many of you guys are in a relationship or married? Raise your hand if you're in a relationship or married. What would happen if you had an alarm that went off on your phone or some sort of reminder 5 minutes before you or your spouse got home that said, why is it so easy to fall in love with my spouse again today? Can you imagine how your relationship would be different? I ask myself that question every day, and we have an amazing relationship that's full of love and passion and joy every day. Your life will change if you do this, guys. It will. This isn't just your business. This is your life. You're programming your mind with what you want. You're taking responsibility for how you think instead of just letting it go with its default setting. So your life will change if you do this. I promise you that. It's a guarantee. Not a matter of if, it will. Is this one mindset strategy helpful, guys? Think you can use this in your life and your business? Two more. Number 2, your problem is not the problem. How you face your problem is the problem. Your problem is not the problem. How you face your problem is the problem. What does that mean? What that means is when you are so emotionally attached to a goal coming true, you actually make that goal harder to achieve. How many of you guys have ever said, I'll be happy when I finally get to diamond? I'll be happy when I finally get to 2-star. No, you won't. No, you won't. You won't. It's when you think this way, you're pushing away your dreams and you'd be miserable if you achieved anything. It's not a fun way to live. So how many of you guys have ever found yourself pushing for a goal and it seems like it's evading you? Like it's just out of reach. It's like flirting with you a little bit. It's like 2 steps forward, 2 1/4 steps back, right? And you don't know why. And you're going, what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? It's because you are attached to your goals, not committed to your goals. It's because your happiness is dependent on a goal coming true. That's why. Okay? So if your happiness is dependent on a goal coming true, you will never be fulfilled. You will always feel behind. If you do nothing, you'll feel overwhelmed. If you do something, you feel like you're doing not enough. And if you do everything, you still feel like you're struggling because you have to do it again the next day. If you achieve a big goal, you feel hollow and empty inside, right? This is the elite coach that hits elite and goes, is that it? Right? The person that hits Success Club 10 and goes, am I doing enough? That's what happens when you are emotionally attached to your goals. Okay, so what we talked about at the beginning is loving the journey. That's what this section is about. It's because it's a must happen and then I can be fulfilled. When you think that way and you come up short, or if you achieve your goals, don't you always feel crappy? You always feel like your self-worth is taking a hit, don't you? Right? It leads to self-sabotage, negative self-talk, compounding negative self-talk. And whatever you repeat to yourself consistently, you what? You believe, right? And that starts to become your life. When you try to build a business this way, isn't it incredibly overwhelming and intense to solve this? Because you have no idea how to do it. It feels impossible. It feels insurmountable. You feel like there's no way, so you start to believe it. When you can learn to see your challenges as a blue question, instead of being responsible for your happiness, the challenges get so much easier. And huge important note here, and this is the overarching focus of everything that I teach in my program. I'll talk to you guys about it in a little bit, and it's so important to understand this. Business and success do not create happiness. Business and success do not create happiness. Happiness creates success. Happiness is the way to build success. Happiness is how you create money. Happiness is how you create a better relationship. It all starts with learning how to be happy. Most people don't get that. It's why I was stuck for years. Why I never broke through, how I always felt like I was sabotaging in some way, how I couldn't get off the couch even though I wanted my life to change. The appreciation for the journey and the challenge is how you overcome the challenge. So what I used to do is I used to say that I should be further along. I should be at this rank. I should be at that level. I should be at that income. I should be there. And I was shooting all over myself. And I found myself just shooting every single day, feeling like I had these high expectations of what needed to happen. And no matter what happened, I never got ahead. I never got ahead. And the reason is because I didn't realize that you are exactly where you need to be to learn what you need to learn to live the life you're meant to live. You're exactly where you need to be right now. And until you realize that, until you own that, you're literally pushing away the lesson. That's the key to your freedom. You're pushing it away. You're saying, no, it's not okay to be where I am now. Why do you think Shaun T talks about in his programs all the time? If you want to lose weight, you have to love the body you have now. Why do you think he talks about that? For this exact reason. Why would you hate the vehicle that's the key to your freedom? It doesn't make sense, right? So this is abundance 101, right? Like, what is abundance? Abundance means that you love where you're at right now and you're excited about what you're going to create. That's abundance. What's scarcity? Scarcity is I'm not where I want to be and I'm afraid I never will be. That's scarcity. And each of the two is a totally different emotional life, right? So you don't need to find the answer because where you are is the answer. So seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. We need to understand that. That's abundance, right? Seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. Step into the common sense corner for a second. If you're God, the universe, whatever you believe in, are you going to give more to the person that's complaining about having less? Or are you going to give more to the person that loves everything they already have and sees their life as a gift? You're obviously going to give more to the person that loves everything they already have. Seeing your current bad is the fastest way to never achieve your dreams. And what's awesome about this one skill, guys, is it means you don't have to work nearly as hard for exponentially better results. Because instead of slamming down on the gas pedal, trying to get to your destination as fast as possible, you're death gripping the steering wheel, smoke's going out your tires, and you're not going anywhere. And you go, what am I doing wrong? And you see all these other cars flying by you on the highway to success, hitting their dreams, hitting their goals, all these things. And you see that happening. Julie signed up yesterday and she's already diamond, right? Like that type of thing. You're going, what am I doing wrong? You realize when you're slamming on that gas pedal, the only thing that's going on is just that your emergency brake is on. That's it. You don't need to push down harder on the pedal of success. You got to release the brake. That's it. Most people, you got to get out of your own way. Most people will try to climb this big mountain of success saying, I'll be happy when I get to the top. Like, put your dream on top of a mountain for a second. How many of you guys have done that? I'll be happy when. Nod your head if that's you. Like, I'll be happy when. The problem with this, guys, is it's the same thing as trying to climb a mountain with a blindfold on. Because if you need to get there now, and it's a must, you got that blindfold on, you're going to make a beeline for the top. You're going to trip. You're going to fall. You're going to break an ankle. And you're going to probably fall off a cliff and die. But even if you do happen to get to the top, you're not going to see any of the beauty around you. You're not going to see any of it. It's going to feel hollow and empty inside. You're going to be wondering, is that it? This is what happens with a lot of people, especially people that struggle with perfection, where they need to get there now. And once they do, they still feel like they're not doing enough, right? So what if you take that blindfold off? What if you stop being so attached to your dreams, but instead you become committed to your dreams? You're still absolutely committed to getting there. Absolutely committed to hitting that big goal. Super excited about it. And you're committed to loving the climb. And you're committed to how you do it. What if instead of your result determining your happiness, you decide today that you're doing this from now on for the growth you experience, for the person you become along the way? Can you imagine how much your life would change if your intention behind all of this was to become a better person? Can you imagine what that would do if that was your intention in life? Because if that's you, if your intention is to become a better person, then even if you're going downhill, because when you've gone hiking out west, right, it's not a straight shot to the top. There are twists, there's turns, there's ups, there's downs, there's peaks, there's valleys all over the place, right? And when you're on that trail, you just trust that that trail is leading you to the top of that mountain, don't you? Even if the peak's over there, if you're following the trail to the top, you still believe it's going to get you there. So even if that mountain is going downhill, away from that summit, the summit's over there, you're going down, AKA a coach quits, you drop in rank, you get a return order, you miss Success Club, whatever it is. If your objective is growth in the person you're becoming, then you learn something instead of hate something. And when you learn something instead of hate something, everything changes in your life, guys. Everything will change because you finally learn the lesson that's going to get you further along the trail. It becomes so, this is the whole thing we talked about in the beginning about loving the climb, loving how to get there. This is what happens. When you're in that state of this must happen, what emotions do you feel all the time? You feel horrible, right? Like anger, frustration, resentment, fear, jealousy, all of this stuff. And that's how we conduct business. It doesn't work. But if you're committed to getting to your dreams, committed to getting there, what happens if you are committed and excited about the climb? What emotions do you feel? Happiness, joy, gratitude, positivity? And which of those two sets of emotions are you more likely to solve a problem from? Which of those two sets of emotions are you more likely to hit your dreams from? Which of those two emotions are you more likely to come up with great content on social media from? Which of those two sets of emotions are you more likely to attract someone to you from? All of this, guys, makes success so much easier. It feels like you're taking a big step back, but you're taking a massive leap forward. Does that make sense? That feeling of forcing things is going to go away, and you're going to feel alive every single day. And when you feel alive every single day, guess what happens? Hey, what's that challenge group thing you're doing? Hey, what's that coaching thing? Because people's BS meter is so high, they can smell if you're not feeling happy. They can smell it, right? How many of you guys know and can feel when someone's just kind of forcing things, right? So if we're doing that in our own business, that's what other people are thinking too, right? That proves it. So if you want to attract people to your business, you need to feel alive on the journey to your dreams. So living this way makes success easier. And I can't get into the whole system of how to live that way in a 1-hour call, but I can give you one more tip that makes living this way so much easier. Do you guys have time for one more? Okay. This guy decided to mow his lawn right outside my window, by the way. So if you hear more noise, that's why. Just how it goes. We're going to roll with it. Okay. Number three. This one's probably the most powerful piece of the entire call. It is so important that you live this. And when you do, your life will change, guys. This is everything. Number 3, I call it the secret sauce. You might know this as genuine gratitude. Genuine gratitude. Guys, this is so powerful. Some of you guys rolled your eyes, but gratitude is the greatest success tool you can ever use. Gratitude is the greatest money tool you can ever use. Gratitude is the greatest marriage tool you can ever use. Gratitude is the greatest parenting tool you can ever use. Gratitude is the cure-all. It is. And if you don't believe that, it's because you don't practice real gratitude on a regular basis. Because what a lot of people make the mistake of doing is focus on red all day long. Why am I so stuck? Why is this so hard for me? Whatever it is. They focus on red all day long, and then they jot 3 things in a journal to feel better. That's what most people do, right? They'll just jot 3 things in a journal as a checklist item to check off their list and move on for the day, right? That's what most people do. And when they do that, they don't actually internalize it. So if you're going to actually use gratitude as a skill set, you need to feel it. You need to feel it in here. That's what you have to do if you actually want it to work for you. Why is it so important? Because it is impossible to feel pain if you're grateful. You literally cannot feel resentment, anger, jealousy, sadness, depression, anxiety, any of it. You cannot feel any of those disempowering emotions if you are deeply grateful. You cannot. It's like trying to be sad and jumping up and down in the mirror naked. It doesn't work. You can't do both at the same time, right? So, and the reason for this, guys, is because pain, this is so important because pain in life is guaranteed, but suffering from that pain is your choice. Suffering from that pain is your choice. Gratitude is how you no longer suffer, okay? If you're focused on the problem, that's suffering. But if you feel the pain, accept the emotions, welcome them, and then practice gratitude, you will bounce out of that so fast. So, like I said, it's got to be real gratitude, though, because seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good, right? So one of the best ways to have some gratitude is to have some perspective first. So think about this. You're watching a video about mindset from anywhere in the world right now. Probably out west, maybe the East Coast, who knows? The UK, Canada, US, wherever you are, right? And you're probably on a couch or at a desk in a safe house with a lock on your door, and you probably have a TV and a computer or a smartphone, right? And a lot of people they have a doctor they can take their kids to get treated for medical care, and a vet they can take their dog to get treated for their vaccinations and all this. And then we have our Apple TV and our Roku and all that to watch our shows at night, and you can watch Game of Thrones or Marie Kondo's Tidying Up or whatever you're into right now, right? And you can watch all that stuff and you can do all those things. But here's the thing. What most of us do is take that for granted. When someone's going to kill themselves in the next 7 minutes, just take that in for a second. Someone's going to end their own life in the next 7 minutes. When there is a mother out there, picture your kids right now. There is a mother out there whose child is not going to wake up tomorrow. That's just what is going to happen in this world today, right? There are people out there injecting needles into their arm to cope with pain. There are countries that live in communism. 2/3 of the world live on $900 a year. $2.50 a day. Can you imagine that? What would that be like in your life, living on $2.50 a day, $900 a year? That's what most of us spend in less than a week, right? Can you imagine what that's like? So it's so important to realize that we're so accustomed to miracles happening around us every day that we don't even see them as miracles anymore. We view miracles as scarce and don't appreciate how literally everything around us was once an idea. This team was once an idea that this incredible woman had. That's all it was. It was an idea, which proves you can create miracles any moment if you really want to. We have the tendency to let go of gratitude and make it a rule that we can only be happy if something happens. And just like we talked about a minute ago, that is setting you up to suffer in life. If you can take away anything from this entire talk, it's the following sentence. And please put this in your notes, live it in bold, put it by your computer, whatever you have to do. Live this sentence and your life will change forever. Ready? Nothing needs to happen in order for you to be happy. Nothing. Nothing needs to happen in order for you to be happy. And as long as you structure your life where your happiness is dependent on something you don't control, a rank advancement, what someone says, how your spouse acts, a goal, anything, you could be literally winning at life and feel like you're losing all the time. Because the scorecard you're using to measure success is unfair, because it only allows you to feel happiness and gratitude if something happens. And achievement without gratitude is total failure. Guys, you're breathing. You're alive. Some people aren't anymore. You're breathing. You're alive. Isn't that enough to smile about? Being alive? And guess what? If you feel alive and you're smiling about being alive, guess what happens? Business gets way easier. Way easier. Okay, because guys, our view of life literally determines our future. So every single day we need to condition this into who we are, and slowly the anxiety, the depression, the overwhelm, the fear, the negative self-talk, it goes away. It's not right away. You have to work on this for forever, right? I still work on this. The learning never stops. But what typically happens, what it happened for me at least, is like, picture like a cup of Shakeology in the sink. Right after you drink that cup of Shakeology, thanks, Sabrina. Right after you drink that cup of Shakeology, it's sitting there in the sink and you turn on the water and it's all mucky and nasty, right? It's probably got peanut butter goop on the side and all this stuff. But what happens if you keep that water running? It slowly clears up and it literally just becomes clear water. That's what happens. That's what's going to happen to your life. Okay. So it's not right away. It's going to take time over the course of time, because you're talking to someone who, for the longest time, I knew what I wanted so bad, but I couldn't get myself off the couch to do it. How many of you guys have ever had the experience like where your laptop's staring at you going, change your life. You have everything you need, but you just can't get yourself to act. Like you just feel stuck. And I remember having these bad days, like 3 or 4 days a week, just like sitting there wishing my life would change, just going, I know I'm meant for more than what I'm settling for, but I just didn't care, but I cared so much at the same time. Does that make sense? Like I just felt stuck and I didn't know how to break through. And it was this endless perfection and guilt loop where if I didn't do anything, I felt overwhelmed. If I did everything, I still felt like I wasn't doing enough. And then I felt down and depressed and useless. And then I felt guilty for being down and depressed. So I tried to be perfect again. And it didn't work. It was like perfection and guilt loop over and over and over again. Perfection, guilt, sadness, depression, sitting on the couch, looking at my life, settling for mediocrity when I knew I was meant for greatness. How many of you guys know you are meant for more than what you are settling for right now? That's where I was in my life. And I just felt stuck. And from practicing what I will teach you in my program that I'll talk about in about 5 minutes, those feelings of anxiety and depression and overwhelm, they went away. It wasn't right away. It went from 3 or 4 days a week to 1 day a week. Then a couple of weeks later, I noticed it was just one time. And then I noticed it was once a month, once every 3 months, once every 6 months. And now, after years of practicing this, I am actually this annoyingly happy on a regular basis. Like actually this annoyingly happy on a regular basis. And it changed everything for me. It started with me in here. The bank account was a reflection of it. The business was a reflection of it. Everything was a reflection of how I felt on the inside. And yes, there are days, once in a blue moon, where I get the whole woe is me and down and depressed and useless that day. Everyone gets that when they get overwhelmed by those feelings. But now I can get out of it in 3 minutes instead of it taking me a week. Can you imagine what that would do for your life if you could break through that in 3 minutes instead of a week? Everything would be different for you guys. So I'd like to take you through one of the exercises that I teach to allow you to do that. And this is something I did not create, by the way. I learned this from my personal growth mentors, Tony Robbins, Brendon Burchard, so many other people, and it changed my life. And so I give the credit to these guys, but it's so powerful. So for this last portion of the call, bear with the lawnmower outside, but for this last portion of the call, get somewhere where you can allow yourself to feel totally vulnerable, totally emotional, and just feel all the feels. Because we're going to go through an exercise right now that's going to bring up some memories. It's going to get emotional. Get somewhere where you can allow yourself to feel those things. And if you're not somewhere where you can feel those things, do this later on when you're not around people. But really try to get there right now. Put everything down that you're doing. Just be present. Don't check the phone. Don't check the chat. Just be fully present. I promise you it will be worth it, because this next 5 minutes can change your entire life if you let it. I'm dead serious. So get where you need to go. And as you're getting there, start to think about just something in your life that stresses you out on a scale of 1 to 10, like a 7 or higher, something that you don't know how to solve. It's unfinished business. It's a conversation you need to have. You just don't know how to break through. You don't know what's stopping you. You just feel like you're not enough to break through it. And you feel like your challenge is unique to you, and you just feel stuck and overwhelmed and kind of down about it. Like you know you're meant to break through it, but you don't know how. And it just feels overwhelming. Raise your hand if you have your stressor. You guys got your stressor? Okay, cool. Shake your body out, close your eyes, and sit up nice and tall. Just trust me on this. Take both your hands and physically put them on your heart for a moment. And keep them there the rest of this exercise. And as you breathe, put all the focus and intensity and intentionality into your heart. So I want you to breathe deep into your heart. Actually imagine the oxygen flowing in your nose, through your heart, and back out your mouth. Another one. Big deep breath in your nose, through your heart, and back out your mouth. And notice how your breath has already calmed your mind. And keep breathing that way. Big deep breath in your nose, through your heart, and back out your mouth. And just feel the power of your heart for a moment. Just feel the strength of your heart, the beauty of your heart, the gift of it. It beats 100,000 times a day without you having to do anything. As long as it beats, you live. It's a gift. You didn't have to buy this heart. You didn't have to earn it. Something thought enough of you to give you this amazing gift of life the moment you were born. You have inherent worth because this heart is beating in your chest right now. So take a moment and just feel so grateful, so happy, so alive, so appreciative that you have this gift of life when some people don't. Take that all in and appreciate that right now and love that right now and feel that in your heart right now, feeling so grateful and so happy because you have this gift of life. And now I want you, from this beautiful state, loving this life, go back to one of your favorite memories. What's one of the best memories of your entire life? Go back there and feel so grateful for that moment. What was it for you? Is it when you said I do? Is it when you had your first baby? What's that moment for you? But instead of seeing it from the outside, step back into that moment like you're there. Breathe the same way you did then. Feel what you felt then. See what you saw then. Experience it all over again now, like it's happening, feeling so grateful. And take that all into your heart and breathe that memory into your heart right now, just appreciating it, just loving it, just cherishing it, and feel it deep in here. And now go to a second memory. What's another memory in your life, a beautiful memory that you cherish? Go back to that memory. But instead of seeing it from the outside, relive it all over again. See what you saw, hear what you heard, feel what you felt then now, like it's happening, feeling so grateful, so happy, so alive, and just cherish that memory for a second. Take it all in and breathe it into your heart, feeling so grateful and so happy. And know that this feeling is within you whenever you want. And now step into a coincidence. What's something in your life, a coincidence in your life that you didn't make it happen, but it happened? You were in line at the coffee shop and you met the love of your life. You didn't mean to get pregnant. Now you have an amazing family. You got a message on Facebook and you're building your dreams. What's that coincidence for you? Go back and relive it. What did it lead to? Was it a person, a career, an insight, a life change? What did it lead to that's amazing that you value in your life and feel so grateful for that coincidence? Just cherish everything that's in your life now because of it. Was that actually a coincidence, or were you being guided? So take a moment and feel so grateful for that. Just love that. Just cherish that and take that all in. Feeling so grateful, because it's so beautiful when you realize that life is always happening for you and not to you. Even the problems, they're gifts because they lead to a more elevated version of you. So take a moment and feel so grateful for all of this. Let it start to overwhelm you. Feel your heart beating 100,000 times a day. Put your focus there for a moment. Feel that first memory all over again, that second memory all over again, that coincidence all over again. And now try to triple the amount of gratitude and appreciation you have for this amazing gift of life, and take it in, breathe into your heart, feeling so grateful, so alive, so happy, and just start to radiate this energy in every direction. Feel it going up, out through your head, your arms, down through your legs, just circulating through your body, feeling so grateful, so alive, so happy, so appreciative, and just say thank you. Just love this gift of life for a moment and just say thank you. And now from this beautiful state, from your heart, not your head, from your heart, don't think, feel, from your heart, go back to that stressor that you totally forgot about, because it's impossible to feel pain when you're grateful. And in your heart, ask your heart to complete the following sentence from your heart. In this stressful situation, all I need to remember is blank. In this stressful situation, all I need to do is blank. In this situation, all I need to say is blank. And ask your heart for the answer. Because it knows, doesn't it? It knows what to do next. And when you feel like you have some sort of guidance on this, when you feel like you have some sort of direction on what to do, go ahead and open your eyes and come back on camera. How many of you who played all out in that exercise felt something real from that? How many of you felt the power of that? How many of you found some sort of guidance to a challenging time from that? By the way, that's who you really are. That's you. All this fear, negative self-talk, that's just conditioning. This is the real you. And the real you has the ability to use your story to impact the world. That's the power of gratitude. It is the biggest success tool you can ever use. And so if you didn't feel something real from this, do it again when no one else is around. You will feel so much deep connection with a solution that you didn't know existed, because guys, you have one shot here. One. And most people will go through life trying to stay safe, never really going for it. You're not that person. Your life could literally end at any moment. You don't control the length of your life, but you do control its depth and its meaning. You're not put here to experience mediocrity. You're meant to feel fully alive every moment of every day, and I can teach you how to do that, guys, because you're exactly where you need to be. You're exactly where you need to be to learn what you need to learn to live the life that you're meant to live. Instead of just knowing that, can you imagine how your world would change if this is how you woke up? If this is something you didn't need a team call to get motivated by, and then 2 days later find yourself in the same spot. If this was how you lived your life, how would everything be different? If that's something that you guys feel could truly benefit your life, if it's okay with you, Bria, I'd just love to take 2 minutes and share about an opportunity for you guys to learn how to do it. And there's no pressure here, guys. No pressure whatsoever. But if you've been going through life and you just don't know why you can't get ahead, and the more you push for goals, they seem to evade you, and you keep hitting Success Club, but it doesn't happen, and you don't know why. And some days you crush it, some days you can't get off the couch, and you have that feeling of knowing you're meant for more than what you're settling for, but you can't get yourself to do it. And you know that it's inner conflict, it's negative self-talk, it's lack of worth, it's all these things holding you back. If that's where you know you are right now and you need to break through, I've created an online course that will break you through all of it. And I mean all of it. It's all in here, guys. There's a reason Instagram trainings don't work. There's a reason those inviting trainings don't work. It's because there's inner conflict, self-sabotage, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. So that course is what will teach you the how of all this. We barely scratch the surface, guys. There's over 500 Beachbody coaches in this program, created by a former Beachbody coach for Beachbody coaches. It is so powerful. And because your leader is amazing, I've arranged a 50% off discount for you guys today. 50% off of this course for you guys if it's something that you feel is for you, okay? So there's no pressure whatsoever, and that's for a payment plan or full pay option, by the way. So if things are tight, there's still a way to make it happen. And by the way, if things are tight, whether it's through me or through someone you trust more, that's exactly why you gotta invest in your growth. It's why you gotta get to Summit. It's why you gotta find a way to get to these things that will teach you how to think differently, because you can't change your life from the mindset that got you to your current life. It's not gonna happen. You have to learn it from somewhere else. And I'd love to be that person for you. And that's why I offer a 90-day guarantee on this program. You guys know who Jen Richardson is? 15-star Diamond Coach Million Club member. She says, and I quote, "Appreciation Academy is the missing link that every Beachbody coach needs to finally see success in their business." Micah Folsom, you guys know who that is? Says, and I quote, "If you're doing all the things and you don't know why you can't break through, or even if you are successful and you feel empty inside, you absolutely must invest in this." And I can go on and on with testimonials from the top leaders in the company. Shay Stanford, Janelle Summers, who else? Pat Reelman, you name it. Endorsed by the top leaders in the business. My goal isn't to impress you, it's to impress upon you the power of this. It rips away the layers of pain, preventing you from being who you're meant to be. It teaches you how to rip through fear and be who you truly are, so people actually want to be part of your life and your business. Remember, guys, business and success do not create happiness. Happiness creates success. That's why this is not a business training. It is a happiness training. It is 7 years of growth packed together so you don't need to wait that long. So if you felt something real from this, guys, the results speak for themselves of the hundreds and hundreds of people that have gone through it. If you've been living in a memory that says you're not enough, it's time we reverse those limiting beliefs so you can live the life that you're actually meant to live, and Appreciation Academy will do that for you. So if you'd like to work together as a team, if you know that me being your mentor on this journey is something that you're interested in doing, all you got to do is head to bradbizjeck.com/team call. Again, bradbizjeck.com/team call. Bria's got all the information she'll post on your team page too after this, but it's a privilege to serve you guys. I know I went a little over my time, but I get kind of carried away and excited. So thank you so much for allowing me to serve you today. Thank you for your trust, and I really hope to see you in Appreciation Academy. So my friend, I will turn it back to you.
Thank you so much, Brad. You know, before I ever do a team call, I always prepare, and especially if I have a speaker on, I always try to think, okay, you know, how am I going to introduce them? What am I going to say at the end? Just because preparation makes me feel more comfortable. But I feel like I can't say anything now because I feel very emotional about what you just took us through. And I am so grateful. For me, this is a really perfect timing situation. I think it's exactly what I've needed in my life. And it doesn't matter to me who's been through it or even what they've said. I just know how I feel, and connecting to someone like you, and you came across very genuine today. I feel very much like what you have is a gift to share with other people. And I want to say thank you. I'm really excited to keep going through the course myself, and to answer any questions from my team who might be interested in it. I know that if you guys are struggling with doubt or mindset, this is certainly the most connected thing I've come across that really has reached inside my heart. So thank you so much, Brad. I really appreciate it. I will absolutely be recommending you to other leaders around to encourage you to keep sharing this with others, because it made a difference for me today. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's just a privilege to serve you guys. And I'll just remember everything you said, and I take that all in. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And everyone, I'll post the recording as well as the other details for Brad in SUCCESSFIT as soon as possible. But thank you again. Have an amazing weekend, you guys. And thank you so much, Brad. I look forward to staying in touch. Bye, guys.